Brought to you by Penguin.
The Long Walk Home, written by Val Wood, read by Anne Dover. Chapter 1. Hull, 1852. He ran, swift as the estuary tide, spry as the breeze which rocked the barges and lashed the cracking canvas sails, full gallop like a gypsy horse escaped from its harness and bidding for glorious freedom. One rabbit slipped from his pocket to be caught up by other grasping hands, but its mate was clutched even tighter, the blood-matted fur sticky on his fingers. Voices shouting, the butcher waving his arms. "Stop him! Stop, thief!" A crony. "Go on, Mikey!" giving away his name. A woman stopped to watch, her fingers clutched to her mouth, a tenseness in her stance urging him on. A man took a tentative step towards him and then thought better of it. But still he was caught. The tall gentleman in black coat and top hat put out his arms, and Mikey ran straight into them. From beneath the man's armpit, which smelt faintly of sweat and spice, he looked at the young girl who had prevented his escape. If it hadn't been for her, he would have swerved and got away, but she was standing so close to the man that he could not have done so without knocking her over. They stared at each other, she from sea-blue eyes, he from dark brown. Mikey gave a sudden grin as he thought of how he might look from her standpoint, with only his face showing beneath the man's armpit. But she tossed her fair head in a haughty gesture, turned up her nose and darted out the tip of her pink tongue. The constable came rushing up, his baton swinging, followed by the butcher brandishing a cleaver. "What's all this, then?" the officer asked no one in particular, but expecting an answer from someone. Mikey wriggled. "I'm choking," he gasped. "Let me out." "I'd say you will choke, my lad." The gentleman eased his grasp on Mikey's neck. "One day you'll swing from a rope if you don't mend your ways." Mikey saw the girl grow pale and put a hand over her mouth. He shook his head to reassure her. No, he wouldn't. "Pinched 2 rabbits from outside my shop, Mr. Kendall," the butcher complained. "How am I expected to make a living when these young ruffians are forever stealing?" "Not me, mister." Mikey shook himself like a young dog when the gentleman released him into the constable's firm grip. "I've never pinched out from you afore." "Haven't been caught, more like," the butcher retaliated. "I've seen you about looking for mischief." "Well, evidence is here." The constable pointed to the rabbit. "I'll have to confiscate it," he told the butcher. "It's proof of theft." The butcher put his hands on his hips, the cleaver glinting dangerously. "That'll be last I'll see of it, then. Some copper'll have a nice rabbit pie. I might as well give it to lad." The gentleman broke in. "He has to be taught a lesson." He wagged a finger at Mikey. "He must learn that he can't get away with such misdemeanours. Society would break down if we allowed it." The girl pressed her lips together, and from wide blue eyes stared anxiously at Mikey, but said nothing. The butcher turned away. "Take it, then, and him as well." He glared at Mikey. "And if I should see you within a mile of my shop," he waved the cleaver, "you'll be sorry." I am sorry," Mikey said hastily. "It's just that my ma—" "Come on." The constable reached into his pocket and brought out a pair of handcuffs. "No excuses. We've heard 'em all before. Your ma's dying, your dad's done a runner, and you've nowt to eat in-house." "I don't think she's dying. At least I hope not. But she is poorly," Mikey thought, glancing over his shoulder at the girl as he was led away. She, too, turned her head as the man put his hand on her shoulder and ushered her across the road.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?